Hey friends, welcome to week 3 of me doing a tutorial every weekday during the COVID-19 outbreak. Today we're going to start playing around with a week's worth of tricks that are based around doing reels, starting with tuck turns, or as some people like to call it, chasing the sun. So let's go ahead and dive into that, yeah? Drex here from DrexFactor.com, helping bring the love of flow arts and poi spinning into your world. And today we are going to talk about tuck turns and why you might want to use them. Before we dive in, of course, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow Toys, Pyroterra Light Toys, LMF Props, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these amazing companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. So we're back inside my apartment this week, partially because I wanted to reinforce the point to you all that these are things that you can do indoors. You don't necessarily have to go outdoors. And also, quite frankly, because I had a devil of a time with the lighting on last week's videos because the sun was starting to set as I was recording. So I wanted to be in an environment where I had a little bit more control over the lighting, yeah? Cool. Okay, so a few of you that already are more experienced with poi will probably have noticed that at this point I've spent 2 weeks getting people into poi spinning, and for the most part we've been playing around with stuff that happens in like wall playing or just a little bit of things that involve having our hands kind of held close to us and everything, and that's actually been very deliberate. The reason for that being that I actually think that we learn a lot of bad habits by placing all the tricks that involve only a little bit of arm movement up front, and I want to get people as soon as possible started on having their arms in poi be treated like extensions of each other, yeah? But we also need to learn the other stuff. So this week we're going to be devoting all of our time to learning the different things that happen when we switch our poi back and forth across each side of our bodies. Sometimes these are called reels or tic-tacs or 2-beat weaves, but basically the long and short of it is that we're going to be playing around with switching which side of your body the poi happen to be on with every single trick that we're going to do this week. We played with this a little bit when we were talking about our reel turns in the first week, and we're going to explore it in more depth today. Basically, you want to be able to swing your poi back and forth across each side of your body, and there's going to be this little point where it crosses over between those two different sides. We usually call this a cross point, again, because we're really imaginative in how we name things. If you need help with this portion of it, remember how we did this with our tuck turns, where you start off with your hand directly in front of you and you drop it down to your side, reach behind you, up and back in front, down on the other side of you, back behind you, up and out to the front. You work with just your hand doing this, and then you let the poi be an extension of your hand here, and then you work your way down to just having the poi be the one that's doing the movement and your hand guiding it back and forth, yeah? You want to be able to do that with both hands going both forwards as well as reverse. Reverse, you start with your arm straight out, you point it up, reach back and down, back forward, reach down, back, up, and back forwards, going back and forth across each side of your body. Again, you let the poi come out, and then you gradually work your way to smaller and smaller circles with your hand, and eventually your poi is doing all the work, yeah? Make sure that you've got that down with both your right and your left sides. Okay, so this is going to feel like it's a bit of a pivot, but stick with me here. I want you to start off facing towards your left-hand side, and you're going to have your poi spinning reverse at your sides, yeah? What I want you to go ahead and do is I want you to drop both of the poi behind your shoulders. Make sure you do this delicately, because it's really easy to just like, nail yourself as you're doing this and everything, but really think you're trying to give the poi a soft landing as they go behind your shoulders. From there, you're going to turn your upper body all the way over to the right, and you're going to pull the poi back out going forwards, yeah? So all together, again, that is you drop the poi behind your shoulders, you turn to the right, and pull them straight back out, yeah? So your goal here is to be able to take less and less time with the poi behind your shoulders. Think that you're going to count off 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, out, be able to do that 10 times in a row, and then think 1 1000, 2 1000, and pull them out, and then get yourself down to just 1 1000, out, and then just be able to go continuously through it. Think that you're going to go behind your shoulders, down and around, 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 yeah? Okay, so that is one half of what I would consider to be a tuck turn. The other half, of course, comes going from the forwards direction to the reverse direction. And that's where things get interesting, because you've got to let your poi spin underneath your armpits. This is something that I have always found is really, really difficult for some students to get down. Some people get it right away, and some people just like really, really wrestle with this. And I will be the first to admit that I've never found like kind of a Rosetta Stone for making this work for everybody. But I'm going to give you like my best kind of version of that I have access to right now. And that's to start off with the poi spinning forwards over to your right hand side, and you're actually going to try and catch the tethers of the poi up in your armpits. You could also see if you can wrap them over your shoulders if that works better for you. You might be worried about hitting yourself, so catching them in your armpits would work, but whatever method you use for this, it basically means that you have to get the tethers in your armpits and at a point where they can stop. From here, you're going to turn over to your left and you're going to drop them back out. They should be spinning reverse here, yeah? If we switch back over to going forwards, and you may have noticed that every time I do these turns between the forwards and the reverse sides and everything, I can just use a standard reel turn to get myself there. Do that until you have both of these pieces in place. So again, we're going to catch the poi as they go under our armpits, turn to the left, pull them back out. We go back to the forward side, we catch the poi as they go under our armpits, and we go back to the reverse side. Or if you prefer, we catch them in the armpits, go over to the reverse side, we catch them in the armpits, we go over to the reverse side, yeah? Okay, so just like when we went over top, I want you to turn over to your right-hand side here going forwards, and we're gonna wrap them around and think 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, let them go. And then once you get and do 10 of those in a row, wrap around and think 1 1000, 2 1000, and you're out. And then 1 1000 and bring it back out. Eventually you wanna get to the point where you can just go solidly through there, and it'll transform that kind of stall that we were doing on your armpits before into something that's more like a flower petal. Okay, so now we try and string these two things together, yeah? Let's start on the reverse side. We're gonna count down 3, 2, 1, going over the shoulders, and from the front side, 3, 2, 1, under the armpits. 3, 2, 1, over the shoulders, 3, 2, 1, under the armpits. Your goal here is to try and see if you can get each of these things to move around your shoulders as you go from side to side, yeah? And of course, once you can do 10 of these in a row, think that you're going to do 1, 2, around, 1, 2, under, 1, 2, over, 1, 2, under, and then work your way down to just 1. 1, over, 1, under, 1, over, 1, under. And then, of course, you just try and go straight back and forth between them. Thinking over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Kind of like you're putting together a flower instead of just a turn, right? Which actually, now that I think about it, is kind of a great way to visualize this, because last week we played around with the idea of doing 2 petal flowers with petals on top and bottom. And the difference here is that those petals wind up going behind you. They go behind your shoulders and under your armpits, behind your shoulders and under your armpits, like so. But overall, it's still the same idea as a flower, really. Okay, so what on earth does that have to do with the tic-tac exercise at the beginning? Well, one of the ways that you can think about both the top and the bottom of these tuck turns is that they're actually reels that go around your shoulders as well as your hips. You know, you can just kind of hang out here and move the poi in front of, behind, in front of, behind, in front of, behind. Likewise, up at your shoulders, in front of, behind, in front of, behind, in front of, behind. You can totally just drill the top and bottom parts of this as many times as you want, and then switch around to whether you're on top or bottom in between them, yeah? I actually think that this is a really good exercise to begin to get control over these reels as you're doing them with your tuck turns. Okay, so let me show you that in slow-mo from a couple different perspectives. Awesome. I know that this lesson feels a little bit more scattered than my lessons usually do, and part of that is that I feel like I've never really cracked the code on teaching this trick, but I do think that it's really important. So interestingly enough, in the coming week, I'll be reviewing videos that other people have created on this topic. So maybe I will discover in the course of that there is another technique for doing this that I will really wish that I had done in this video. So at this point, I need to ask a gigantic favor of all of you out there. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We have a unique opportunity right now to grow the poi world. You know, we've got a lot of people that need stuff to do, that need stuff to take their mind off of what's going on in the wider world. And poi is a great thing that they can do indoors. It will get their bodies moving and it'll challenge their minds. It's something that we all can do to give to each other in order to make this situation just a little bit better, right? Also, I have been looking at my stats on YouTube, and if you are watching me on YouTube, there is a 70% chance that you are not subscribed to me. I would really like to see that likelihood decline. So pretty please, at the very least, give me a subscribe on YouTube and help my channel grow, yeah? If you are enjoying this project and would like to see it keep happening, there's a big way that you can help me out, and that is to sign up to support the work that I'm doing over on Patreon, like all of these nice folks did. This video and all the videos on my channel exist because these awesome people have been supporting me throughout this crisis, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate them doing so. It's really helped my mental health a lot to know that I'm going to be able to pay rent off of what I'm getting through Patreon. And so, you know, if you would like to show your appreciation for this, that is definitely a way that you can do it. In order to sign up, you can head on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi. You get early access to all of my content as well as a say in what topics I produce in the future. So yeah, thank you so much, and I would appreciate it if y'all can help me out like that. So tomorrow we're going to play around with something that's going to feel kind of similar to our tuck turns, but it's going to be in split time, same direction. We're going to play around with what are called water mills. Those are split time, same direction reels that go around your hips and everything. So make sure you tune in for that, yeah?